Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. So today I'm going to work with you on what we call scheduled tasks in Hermes. You know, when I work with Hermes, there's this is, let's say, a very important experience that you need to master. It's scheduled tasks. How do I tell this agent to execute the tasks that I have set up in a repetitive way? And Hermes, as you know, is an agent. I send a request, a prompt, and it will respond to me. But what's even more interesting is when I give it a task, a mission, and I want it to execute, say, every hour or every day, or, for example, I set up triggers. If it receives an email, I want it to reply, for example. So, as a result, scheduled tasks are really Hermes' strong point. And today, actually, in this video, I wanted to explain the life cycle of tasks, and above all, we want to learn how to set them up and how to schedule them so that they are precise according to our needs. And of course, I've put everything together in a little documentation with all the prompts I'm going to use. So stay until the end. I'm giving you this documentation for free, and I'll actually show you how I set up scheduled tasks on my Hermes server. So quickly to start, generally, I often get asked this question in the comments. I always try to explain it, especially for people who are watching my video for the first time. If you've been around for a while, if you already have Hermes installed and you've been following me on YouTube for a long time, you can skip ahead a bit in the video. But if this is your first time watching the video, then I'd like to introduce this interface. So here I'm actually using Hermes with a web interface. So this isn't the classic Hermes that everyone knows. So here is Hermes. This is the Hermes agent. I'm actually using the Hermes web UI. This is an interface that includes the classic Hermes, but with it, it adds other features to make Hermes very useful and very easy to use. So for all beginners, I recommend this version to you. It's the most stable version today, the simplest one where I can really manage the tools and actually install the skills. It's easier than working with the classic Hermes. I've been using it for several months, and of course, it's installed on my server and it's simple. So I'll leave you the link. If you want to get the Hermes web UI, you can get it directly from Hostinger. So they offer you several plans. For example, you can choose this plan. Then, of course, you can actually use the coupon that was posted on Hostinger's blog for discounts. So here you first need to log out if you already have an account on Hostinger, because it's only for people who are creating their first server with Hostinger. So to get around this, you simply need to log out. You enter Go Hermes here just like this. You click on apply and that's it. So you get the discount and you click on continue to actually confirm the server, and you then have 30 days to test it. So it's simple. Once you're in, you'll immediately see this interface, and this is where I can simply add the different pieces of information. The first thing to do now is I'm going to explain to you the definition of these three files, and I'm simply going to inject prompts directly into my Hermes to see a bit how it reacts. And you'll see it really makes a huge difference between Hermes without these files defined and Hermes when you provide it with the information. Hermes' performance really goes to the maximum. So, let's start with the definition. What is a cron in Hermes? Well, a cron is simply a scheduled task. That means the agent will wake up on its own at the scheduled time. It will perform a task, execute some commands, and of course deliver the result to us. I can ask it to create a file, perform a task, send an email, send me notifications on Telegram, WhatsApp, whatever I want. And this scheduled task is very important. And what's really interesting in our case when we're working on an external VPS is that even if we turn off our computer, Hermes always stays on standby. It will always execute the tasks we ask of it. So what's really interesting? We have a few steps here. First, when we try to work on a task, we simply talk to it using plain natural language, to Hermes. You'll see that I've actually prepared a few examples that we'll test here on a home setup. We speak normally. I tell it, listen, I want you to execute the task every morning, for example, at 9 a.m. So it's actually the system itself that will handle creating this repetition. And afterwards, it will put it into a system. This is actually a system that will never be deactivated. That means it will always remain active and will keep working. And what's very interesting is that this also contains an important piece of information, that the task execution will take place in a new session. That's why you need to provide a complete or fully sufficient prompt. You shouldn't tell it, continue on an existing session. That means you won't have a list, for example. So the prompt and the task must be complete, clear, and simple so that it can be executed. Then Hermes will execute it, and afterwards it will give you the result either in the form of what you requested, whether it's a file or a message. So here, the test we're going to do together is very simple. We're actually going to create a cron job every morning at 9 a.m. And here, I actually need to give it the execution time. This is very important because if you don't specify the time, the system actually won't know, since it might have a different time than your local time. So here, as an example, I chose a city, but you can enter the city that interests you, where you live, with, of course, the time difference, or there you go, you enter UTC or GMT plus however many hours, and you have to specify it. So that's the task. And here I tell it, here is the task, and I actually ask it to look for the latest updates. There you go, on AI every day and on automation. And I wanted to keep the 3 most relevant ones so that I can develop them on my YouTube channel, and for each one, I wanted to give me a title. Why it made this suggestion in a single line, so not too much description. And I ask it, for example, to deliver this to me on a Telegram channel. There you go, something else. In any case, I just take that. So here, for example, here I tell it to send that to me in a file. There you go, I wanted to save that in a file, and that's it. So here we are. Here we're going to launch the request and see if it's actually able to create it for me. So the core, so the scheduled task. So it's going to start executing it actually and taking the prompts. And there you go, after 47 seconds, it created the task, it gave an ID, it tells me when it will be executed next time, it tells me that it will simply deliver it on our interface, and here, this is basically the file where it will simply write it, so it will put the updated date, so it will be a file. Once all that has been created, we'll go here to see whether the task was created or not. When I come here, I have 2 pieces of information. First, we need to keep our server running at all times so it can simply execute this task. And the second thing, it tells me that the information is active, it's been created. So here we have the prompt and all the information that is active. Now, we're going to try to fix this little, not really a problem, but somewhere here we'll need to make a few updates so that in the Docker Compose file here, in the basic information, we'll always have a server inside with this gateway that remains active at all times. So how do we do that? It's simple. So I'm going back to my server. I'm coming here to manage my server. Quite simply, I click on manage. And now I'm just going to look for this YAML file. So I click here. This is a file. And so here I will need to add this code. So I'll show you how I added it. So actually this code wasn't there at the beginning. At first it was like this. Let's go back to the beginning. It was like this. There you go. It was like this. So then I go to my documentation. I've actually included for you what you need, so you can simply click here to copy it. And when I come back here, there you go. So now I hit enter here. I'm going to paste this code. There shouldn't be anything in red or anything like that, which means everything is fine. And then I click on deploy. So it takes a little moment to deploy. The goal is for the gateway to always be open and operational. So it's a small update that we made. And of course, afterwards we can check and see if everything is okay or not. So we wait so that we can move on to the terminal. There you go, it's finished. I click to go to the terminal, and you simply have a second code here for a terminal check to see if everything is okay or not. So here we're actually going to put what launches it and tells me that the gateway, it's currently being launched as expected. Here everything is fine, so even the activity, here it is. In fact, it showed that it has. So there is the action and the gateway. It is in functional mode. And here, when I come back, the good news is that the error message has disappeared. And now, the task, there you go, it is active. So the agent here is ready to work and operate as it should.